Welcome to episode 22 of Snap on This, a Marvel Snap podcast. I'm LaurenWhatevs, here with my co-hosts as usual to talk about this game that we all love. It's an even-numbered week, so an even-numbered episode anyway, and we're going to throw it over to Ben first. Ben, how was your week in Snap, and keep it snappy?
Well, endeavoring to keep it snappy, as we always do around here. It's been a pretty good week. Perhaps a little bit light. I've played a fair amount. Things have gone well. I hit Infinite, I think, probably shortly after we recorded last week. And they spat me out with a good number of snap points because I think a lot of it, I don't know. If you just get like a clear run through the 73 to 100, I think they spit you out with more snap points than if you spend more time farting around and doing silly things. So I don't know. That it's all conjecture. It's hard to ascertain. Anywho, I was mostly playing Codependence Day, the deck I described last week, the one with Wiccan where it just tops out at Wiccan. I did try some variations on it. I tried putting Eliath in there in two different spots. I did get to come up with more, I don't know, names for those alternate versions of the deck, names that I liked better, but you know what? I named it Codependence Day and I said it on the air, so that's what it's called. My favorite of the alternate names for the tweaks was Jingoism in Space, but you know, I didn't have that idea when I had the idea for the deck, so it's just a good name that was attached to an inferior sequence of 12 cards. So what are you going to do? Anywho, other than that, in the post-infinite landscape, I've been playing a lot of discard. I also played some of that on the way to infinite. But yeah, I'm still playing Cool Doug's card, another deck that I just named on a whim real quick. And if I'd known how much I was going to play it, I would have thought better and, you know, harder and given it, you know, a snappier, pithier nom de cards.
Maybe you need to start, you need to stick with deck 21 a little bit longer or something dumb like Heimdall move. Maybe. I don't know. But anywho, those 12 discard cards are real good. They seem to win a lot of games, except when the hot location is something stupid like the peak. Oh my gosh, that was so frustrating. I did not enjoy that hot location. New the peak, worse than old the peak. I can't help but think that like any player of the game or most players of the game will agree with me on that. I don't know why get rid of a location for being unfun and then invent a less fun location to replace it with. I still haven't played it.
It's really not fun.
I just avoided ranked. The rarity must be high because I never ran into it in Conquest.
Yeah, well, you will at some point, and I have a feeling you will not be left with a positive impression. Call it a hunch.
I'm sure you're right.
Anywho, so I feel they kind of they pooched it with that one, or I don't know, some more tasteful descriptor of just a real mishandling. I wasn't impressed. Wasn't impressed with New Peak. And if you love New Peak, please write in and tell me why. Please tell me why. That's just not a good location. Okay. Other than that, been playing some other games. You know how I do. Playing some Marvel's Midnight Suns. I played a little bit of Marvel Rivals. They added 2 of the Fantastic Four to the game. I think the other 2 are coming soon. Really enjoying Invisible Woman. This is probably the most fun I've had playing her in a Marvel video game. And I play some Marvel video games. She was no fun in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 or 2, but she's a lot of fun in Marvel Rivals. She's got a cool little double jump. She does, in fact, turn invisible. It is relevant. She's got some fun moves. I played one game with her, and I was left with a very positive impression. She's basically the opposite of the peak. Yeah. And I'm trying to think if I played anything else super crucial. I started playing some more Hades 2. I hadn't played in a month, according to my save files. But yeah.
Just because?
Still a great game. Yep, I wanted to...
I haven't gotten any 32 surface clears since the Olympic update with Prometheus. So I need to beat Prometheus at 32 fear. Because I'd gotten 32 clears on the surface, but that was back when Eris was the final boss of the surface.
God, that is mind-blowing to me.
I want to like get this all figured out before the next patch, which could be coming anytime now. They said 2025. So if I want to claim this current personal achievement for myself, I've got to do it before the game changes. Yeah, I don't know. So. Other than that, though, yeah, Snap. Pretty cool game. Still love cards. Still love superheroes and putting them on cards and making them win games and stuff.
Okay, great.
Yep.
I'm calling it. That's your week in Snap and your week out of Snap.
Could have kept it snappier, but what are you going to do? Hey, it was only 7 minutes.
It wasn't that bad. Oh, hey, Remy. Up next is Rie. How was your week in Snap and keep it snappy? You can talk about your week out of Snap, too. That's fine.
So my week in Snap, I played like the larger percentage of the player base. I was a casual this week. I was mostly, fruitions. I played mostly the Wombat Combat deck I talked about last week, the Swarm Helicarrier deck. Although me and Wombat had a meeting of the generals in the battle map room. I didn't make this deck, but I was there as the patron saint of all things random bullshit go. And we were like, okay, we gotta talk about Strong Guy. He's not like super pulling his weight, sometimes with some helicarrier shenanigans, and it's real sad when you have someone who's called Strong Guy and they're just a little 3/3 out there. So we did replace the outdated Circus Strongman with the updated Battle Angel Tech Girl, Scorn, who was rocking in the deck. To be honest, when you're doing some silly, double Modoc stuff, it's fun. Swarm. It is fun with Swarm, but also with Scorn. So, that's what I was playing. It did have me thinking a little bit more about burnout and escapism in games that we obsess over. Because I've noticed that it's like all the most passionate people, casuals would just kind of fade out. It's usually not a conscious decision, to turn their backs on the game. They just think about it less every day. And the most passionate players are the ones most likely to be like, I'm leaving and I'm not coming back, and I have not gotten there that much myself in Snap, and I think it's because I've had these kind of forced lighter times where I kind of just have to play as a casual because that is how it goes. So I don't get super burned out, and it's like, is it even? I don't know. When we get really obsessed with games, when they become escape for us, is it even always a bad thing? I think we always look at the bad side, like the really addicts to an MMO, which, I've been there. But there's another side of it too, where a lot of games have gotten people through cancer treatments. And sometimes, honestly, we all just deserve a mental break to escape deep into the realm of Eorzea, where we are the strongest.
Oh, yeah.
Literally the most powerful Amazonian bunny girl that could ever exist. Anyway, so, but it does burn out. Like me in FF14, there's a time where it's like I was spending more time there than in reality. And at night, it was just, researching the game, knowing all the things. And it did eventually burn out for me. And I think that happens with so many people in Snap too, where it's just and did I quit? No, but I had to take it way lighter for a long time. And I don't know, it's not necessarily a bad thing if you got to take a break. hopefully we fix our catch-up mechanics, so it's okay when people do, but it's fun to be lighter sometimes and let yourself regain that joy of Snap, because you're like, I wish I had more time to play, to try decks, to make my own decks. I did download onto my Switch Inscription. Thank you, Lauren, for looking up that one time. It was on sale, as you said. But I didn't get a chance to play it yet because that was my time to do my Snap missions. So I didn't miss out on my daily credits. I got to play the same game instead of trying a new one because I've been trapped into the treadmill. Anyway, so yes. And I've been playing a little bit of... I won't talk about it, but Metaphor ReFantasio.
Hell yeah.
I think I said that right. I get the name wrong half the time I say it.
It's a made-up word. You can say it however you want.
But yeah, partially based on Ben's recommendation of watching his spouse and some other friends and stuff, which I did pick over Dragon Age Veilguard, which I'm sure I will get on clearance soon. Anyway,
I've now watched my spouse play that game. Not as good as Metaphor ReFantasio.
Yay! Justification! Validated! Okay, what I really think of when I want to say that is Vindication with the, from the Spider-Man 2 soundtrack.
Vindicated!
Ben has to sing it because I can't sing.
The fring! I don't know the words.
Okay. Anyway, yes, that was my week in, and somewhat out of Snap game-wise. Lauren, may I introduce our third host? The amazing, or hostess? I don't, are we picking gender? Is there gender neutral that we use? Okay, sorry,
Co-host.
I'm thinking about. Yeah, there we go. Our wonderful co-host. The saint of splitsmiths, the lovely LaurenWhatevs. Please grace us with your weekend snack.
The co-mostess.
Yeah, very smooth. I loved your discussion on burnout in a game or just anything that you're obsessed with. Like, that's, I don't know, neurodivergent, ADHD, whatever it is. I have moved from obsession to obsession since I was 5, something like that. Used to be Bionicle, at a time, and so many things that I moved through. Zoids, just to name a couple.
We're all so old. I remember those words.
And yeah, you almost made me feel better about I love cooking in Snap, but there are entire weeks I go where I haven't really done much cooking at all. And, maybe that's okay. Maybe that's what keeps it alive for me, because I'm not pushing myself so hard into burnout, even though, some weeks it takes up an unreasonable amount of my time. But hey, maybe we can have healthier attitudes about that too. Like you were saying, it's okay to love a game or to, whatever. This is our community. That's something that brings that causes Snap to bring a lot of value to my life, is I have all these friends and people to talk about the thing I care about with, and that makes it more fun all around anyway. I did do some cooking this week. I made a killer clip with Moonstone. There's this beautiful Heimdall move thing. Maybe I should link it in the show notes, because I used Heimdall in a very clever way where up until the very last turn, Onslaught is boosting Sarah, and then at the very last turn, Onslaught is suddenly boosting Mr. Fantastic and Mystique and Moonstone, and all of a sudden Mr. Fantastic's doing 78 power or something like that. It's a lot. Anyway, yeah, cool. I was proud of that one, because I learned from going to the lab. I learned that Scroll and Moonstone they will not copy each other, no matter what. Even if one of them's a Mystique, they will not copy each other. They do not care for each other. And so I was like, how the heck am I going to do something cool with Moonstone? Anyway, the other thing I did was play an amazing Safety Blade deck with Victoria Hand and Iron Patriot. I've been playing it since Saturday, something like that. And it was kind of secret, but I asked him if I could talk about it on the podcast, and he said I could. This easily won me 2 Infinity tickets. So it's a great deck. I'm not going to read the whole thing out, but highlights include Iron Patriot, Valentina, Victoria Hand, I already said that one, Frigga, and Luke Cage, and Anti-Venom. something that got the Iron Patriot discount or the Anti-Venom discount, getting Frigga, you're doubling your energy savings. Like 8 energy discount, that's huge. It's a very, very cool deck. It's called Playing It Safe. Check it out. And
okay, but we need to workshop that name, though. It's not how we do on Snap on this. We never play it safe. Okay, sorry.
Well, but it's a safety blade deck. Yeah, I use just his name. You know, if I wanted to rename it, then maybe I would come up with something.
No, that's fair.
But yeah, it's as so many safety blade decks are, is very good. And
that's why you need the blade to black up the safety. You know, you need the contrast.
This one is more blade,
danger.
Or maybe it is. Yeah. It's safe because, my goodness, it is just. I haven't found a bad matchup. It's just good. It has tech and just those discounts. Gives you so much power. Anyway.
Oh, I love a good discount.
Yeah. And then Frigga to double discounts is cool. Frigga also on Victoria Hand is great because then your next Victoria Hand is a 2/5 or a 2/7 by the time you play her.
How fun. Just
piling up Victoria Hands is fun too. I've also really been enjoying that with Nico, using the clone spell on Victoria Hand. She's a great card to double, turns out. I haven't tried doubling her with Moonstone yet, but I'm sure that's good too. Speaking of Moonstone, I've already revealed that I picked up Moonstone. I got her with tokens, and now I'm out of tokens. She's a 4/6, ongoing, has the ongoing effects of your 1, 2, and 3 cost cards here. Apologies for my dog. Did you two get her, and what do you think about her?
I got her.
Yes.
What I think about her is that I did not have any urgent plans for this card. This is just a card that I wanted to own because I like it, and I am sure I'll think of something to do with it eventually. But yeah, I haven't played it. I've run into a few. Seems fine. I don't know. I'm sure I'll have more to say about it 6 months from now when I have built a deck with it. But sometimes I just like to acquire the card and figure out what to do with it later. If I can tell it's like my kind of card.
You just want it in the tool belt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was frustrating a bit for me because normally she's the one I'd want to build a kooky little deck for. I didn't have time, so for the weekend missions for tokens, I did the auto deck, which was like a Patriot, Mystique, Ultron, Captain America, which was like. It was kind of a cool idea, but like into what I was running into, maybe it's just because it was Moonstone week. Everyone was like laughing. It was just like hard to pull off. And it wasn't a good time. So I do think it's just one where I need to be out of the meta where people are running counters, or I just needed to make my own decks I was going to enjoy better. What about you? Probably had the most fun, Lauren, I'm guessing.
Yeah, but I was mostly just doing. So. I was mostly just doing silly stuff with her. So my first silly clip that I was doing was still Mr. Fantastic, Moonstone, Onslaught, Mystique, which is awesome. But I was getting it so regularly that it didn't seem like clip material. I needed to take it up to the next level, and that's when I came up with the Heimdall thing. I'm not saying I'm doing it often enough that it's worth running. Like, it probably doesn't have a positive cube rate, although this thing can still 8 cubes for sure. But it was probably like a 1 in 10 success rate, and that's too high for a killer clip. I think she's okay. Kind of what I expected. There are a handful of really good hits. Your Ant-Man, Victoria Hand, Mystique situationally, and Quinjet. Quinjet is a good one that I don't know if we talked about before. But she's still just a 4/6 is just expensive.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder is it too good if she's a 3 cost, or
no?
Is it too good
I
if
think
she
could
can?
End up there.
Yeah, or is it too good if she could copy from all your lanes? That's very good. Maybe
That's probably too good.
I think it probably is too good. Yes.
Yeah, because then
I think that would just make her so flexible. She'd go in discard for sure.
it's a huge space saver. Wait, was that a joke? Is she going discard?
Yeah, if she could copy across other lanes, you'd have Morbius on one lane, and then she'd be a Morbius. She could also be a strong guy at the same time, while strong guy himself is anchoring a third lane. Like that deck would be nuts.
And Scroll can do that, but he's not he's out of your control. You don't get to choose what your opponent's
Scroll
doing.
can't do that.
Right. Well, I'm saying Scroll can copy from multiple lanes.
Yeah. But
it's okay because
have a plan.
Right. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, that's why it's okay. Moonstone, maybe that needs to be a 6 cost, or maybe that's just too good. It would be fun though. That's all. I only think she's worth getting if you're like swimming in resources. I think she's a very skippable card. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's good. Kooky card.
Yeah, she's fun. But I don't think she's anything close to critical.
I mean, inevitably, when there are more cards, there will be something that won't be cute, and it won't be gimmicky, and it will be scary. So, like, if you got Moonstone, don't feel silly about it. Unless they series drop her before she becomes relevant, and then you can feel silly about it.
You know, that's a really good point. I have seen some people enjoying her with Captain America, and next month, Cap Shield is an ongoing card. Is the ongoing just that it can't be destroyed? I think so. So actually, that's not even worth doubling. I don't.
Yeah, anyway. But you know what else is next month? Joaquin Torres, Falcon, baby. Animorphs Falcon.
Oh, is he the Wong?
Yeah,
for
he's
one
Baby
cost?
Wong, Lil Wong, and the East Side Boys.
What's his cost though? That's
3.
Okay, you could do that into 4.
Yep.
That's getting very combo-y, but you know.
Hey, that's a mighty big silver sable.
Maybe you could do some cool things with that, yeah. Or even a big Hawkeye. Hawkeye classic. Okay. So yeah, maybe she's some future proofing for other 1, 2, and 3 ongoing cards. I don't know. I feel like we don't get a ton of those. Next week's spotlight. Bullseye, a 3/3. Activate. Discard all cards that cost 1 or less from your hand. Afflict that many different enemy cards with -2 power. Thoughts?
I realize
more
I've
excited. Yeah.
said this thought before, but let's keep in mind that the ceiling on this card is 2 hazmats. Like, the most it can do is hit each of your opponent's cards once. If you somehow have more cheap cards in your hand than they have cards at all on the board, it's still only doing 2 hazmats.
That's the affliction ceiling, but in theory, discarding cards is good for you.
No, you are hopefully doing yourself some other favors on that transaction.
Like, I expect both of you are psyched for this card. It looks like a fun
absolutely
yes.
I just I don't want us to start getting machine gun gambit dreams in our eyes. You know, let's be real about what the card does or does not do.
Yeah, I mean, but a card's meta power usually has very little. It's not determined how excited I am about it. I thought Moonstone was going to be the card I was going to be real excited to play with, but and I was kind of down on Bullseye that when we talked about him for the series ranking, but I'm excited. I want to do Deken X23 and discard. You know, that's some shenanigans we haven't gotten to mess around with for a while because they don't make more sense than Grandmaster and Gambit and everything. So yeah, it'll be fun. I'm getting him with tokens.
He's grown a lot on me since we've seen his ability, since he got his powered or his cost adjustment to be a 3/3. But then even after we talked about him in our season preview, and after my rankings in Twitter, which is usually I'm committing, but I just kept thinking about it. And there's actually there's things you can do with him. It's not just swarm nanigans. Like Rie was saying, we can do Dokken things now. And that's because he's an activate, you can Zola the Dokken and then trigger Bullseye, and that's not
true.
bad.
That's something. That is a real. That's something. I like that.
Yeah, that's. I mean, what is that? 4 that gets doubled 3 times, twice. That's confusing.
Right. I just forget that upside to activate. I'm always so down on the downside of activate, but the positive is getting to pull off stuff like that.
Then you get 2 Dawkins that are 32 power, and it's a 3-card combo.
That's my
not
kind
so
of
bad.
deck.
I
like it.
Black Panther stuff, which yes is stoppable, but I mean this one at least is a little bit less transparent.
It is also a specific 3-card combo that does need its pieces to show up at certain times, and that is a bit of a tall order. But
yeah, you're kind of limited.
Sometimes.
You're kind of limited on how many targets Bullseye. I mean, like, not how many.
There are other cute things to do with Arnim Zola in that deck.
I kind of enjoy these crossover cards, though, that have, like, it's like a little bit of discard, a little bit of affliction. I know for X23 that hasn't worked out thus far, but maybe this is the card that helps. Not that she's those two. She's destroy and discard, obviously, but she's pretty much just destroy.
I still
except for
feel the need to speak up for her.
With
It's 100 bad guys with swords. As in, we face the galloping hordes.
I forgot it wasn't 1,000.
Bad guys with swords. Who said
Mine was the epic version of the fight.
Why?
I didn't play that. It was insane. You dick.
So, like, obviously, Scorn's a good hit. The other thing I thought of, and I think I probably mentioned it here before, is like a Dracula dump deck. You can clear out all the ones from your hand. You can ensure Strong Guy gets buffed. You ensure Dracula hits the Infinite or Giganto. Like, it's something. I don't know if it's good, but
I do think
it fun though.
I don't know. I do think this card is going to be good. I think that there's like a certain kind of player who's going to get excited about this card and is going to be disappointed. But I think in general it's a good and exciting card, and I'm excited to play it. I'm eager to be activating for discards of multiple cards because, as I've often whined about, I thought that Hell Cow looked like fun when it activated to discard 2 cards, but it just didn't look like fun for any of the decks I was playing, and I was very upset about it. But like this is my chance. I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, I agree. Very strong card. There's some cool things you can do with it. I think Swarmnanigans is the part I'm most excited for, but probably not his best thing, right? Like his best thing is going to be something practical, not something explosive.
Swarm is practical sometimes. Like, discard is very good right now.
I mean, yeah, you have like Victoria Hand, you use a MODOK in here, and you're dropping like, what, 4/05s at the end? You're not upset about that.
Gosh, can I admit something? I was so low when I put together, I was just like, deck builder, build me whatever. Like, I just opened an empty deck and I clicked that plus button and I let it fill. And it gave me a discard deck that was almost exactly my Megacalypse deck. It just, it took out Moon Knight, which I have known in my heart is right for so long, and I haven't been able to. But for Grandmaster, and it didn't have Meek. It had Swarm with Dracula. But I was like, maybe it is I who have been wrong all this time. And I tried playing it because I was like, you know, like maybe we're so low in life that we'll play Dracula with Swarm. And no, it was terrible. There were so many times. Because here's the thing. When I play my discard decks and I drop that Drac, I know I am getting value for it. Because, I mean, you know, unless I'm taking the gamble and drawing a card I don't have. But mostly I'm spending that energy, 4 energy, on a 1-drop on 1 turn because I am assured of future glory, like all those monks told all those peasants in the Middle Age. You know, give us money. Okay. Anyway, so, but like when you have swarms in your fucking hand,
it is an opportunity for Dracula to go wrong.
Swarm. Yes, and then you invested all that energy, and that's where it was so off for me because I'm so used to when I play a Drac, I know I am probably just gonna fucking win that lane. I'm tricking them in some way. So like, you know, and it was wrong, it was bad, and I replaced it with meek. Immediately better. You know, your beautiful 1/8, meeks just flying around the board, giving you reach. I liked it better than swim. Anyway, okay.
Getting to choose where he
Sorry.
goes is
Off
great.
topic.
I'm so glad they gave him that change. Wasn't it random before?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was.
Which
I
is
remember
fine.
the old
I
Ben
thought that was
advice
cool
of like,
because you could like do smart stuff and be better
Oh, yeah.
than your opponent. You know.
It was very cool.
Also,
but
like,
you moved
new ability is
like,
great.
at the end there. Like, as I recall, Meek moved at the end of the turn. So,
Yeah.
like, now you're giving Meek the ability to move next turn. But, like, if you want to, like, be tricky
That's
on turn
true.
6, there were cool things you could do with Meek
To, like-
Classic that you can't do with Modern Meek.
Yeah, steal certain locations or whatever, for sure. Joining Bullseye in the spotlight, his friends, fellow 3 costs, Caiera and Marvel Boy. Cool zoo cards. Are they trying to tell us something? Is Bullseye a zoo card? No.
they're just like, hey, they all say 1. Come
I
on
think what
together.
this tells me is that they think Bullseye might be a zoo card, and that I think that tells me more about them than it does about Bullseye.
Do you get these? I think you just get these cards if you like zoo.
Yep.
They just, sometimes the themes are pretty loose. I think Marvel Boy is a Marvel. I love Marvel Boy. Like, anytime I'm playing enough 1-drops, it's like, oh, please. And there's so many times you get that Marvel Boy on 3 after Squirrel Girl or whatever, and they just fucking retreat. They're just like, no, I want to see it.
That's a good
I wanna
combo.
see some big, juicy squirrels.
For sure.
Yeah.
Watch those squirrels.
Marvel Boy is a really cool card. Like, nobody else does that, like, effortless scaling for +3 every turn. That's
Yeah.
like a Marvel Boy exclusive.
It's pretty free if you did the setup right. I'm okay. I'm glad we said something else about Marvel Boy, or Adam would be disappointed in us.
Oh, Novar. We know his name is Novar.
Oh,
There. That's just for
Marvel
you, Adam. We know.
SnapOnThisPod did
We
an
know.
entire write-up about a run that I read that was amazing and made me want to read it, but I'm just like behind on stuff. He's had some interesting stories. But while we're also on the spotlight, friends, I wanted to say about Caiera is what I've enjoyed most about her is that is the little tricks you forget you can do, because you're mostly just like, whenever I look at her, immediately just like protection from Killmonger. Awesome. That's what kept me from playing Zoo for a long time. I hated that one card could take me out. And I've noticed I actually ran into some Killmonger hiding behind Inviswoman this week, as everyone was like scoping for like Patriot, Ultron, Moon Knight stuff. There's lots of Killmonger. But the fun stuff with Caiera is when you're like, oh, I can play in a dust domain, which is the location that destroys a card as soon as you play it there, you know, with my 1-drops now and stuff. And that's a free win. That's like reach, you know, in a deck, basically. And that's when I finally started playing her, it was like discovering all those little tricks that you know.
You're right. I love her on Rickety Bridge because they always do the face-off after every turn, and your cat just survives, and it's like, yeah, this is fine. Keep throwing stuff at
people
it, please.
forget they will, and you just throw it down on the last turn because they won't remember, you know, that she's going to do that.
No, I lose to Caiera's. That's usually how it happens.
All right, I was dismissive of both of them, I admit.
They're
how
both good
dare,
cards.
Lauren? Aren't these? I feel like you would love Marvel Boy, right?
I never
do.
play either one, but I respect them both immensely. I'm like
that.
I'm a big fan of both of these cards.
Yeah,
Oh,
what Ben said, where I was like,
played-
they're both zoo cards. They are more than that. And Caiera
No,
keeps
I
sixes
play me
alive.
some Marvel Boy. Marvel Boy's a lot of fun.
I need to play Marvel Boy more. I think the last 2 times I played him were
should.
both in Adam decks. Okay.
Shame on
Moving
you
on.
both for your lack of respect for Marvel Boy. It's glory.
I like the little cockroach
He's just
guy.
so little, and Killmonger, and yeah.
He's vulnerable to a Red Guardian.
I have not played him enough with Valkyrie, even though I was excited for that because all she needs is a 1-cost in her lane, and he breaks the parity.
As long as you don't have other 1-costs. Sometimes you get disappointed when you're like, no, not that
too
lane.
many targets, you can't control it.
Pick the other squirrel.
Part of playing Marvel Boy is limiting how many ones you put on the board. Absolutely.
No, you put them all. You put them all out there. You actually don't want to limit your ones too much. Usually, if you're playing Mark, because you want to get ones out there. You want to get your, so you have to put enough in the deck. I don't know. And then what? You just not going to play? You're not going to play it. A cute little
if I need a guarantee power, if I need a guarantee power going to another lane, the correct thing is not to play.
Honestly, just adding that fourth 1-cost to the board, I don't know. Yeah.
You're just asking for
I'm
it.
sure it's usually worth it if it's the only way to spend your energy and stuff. But if you have
here's how it happens though. You play the Squirrel Girl on turn 1 because you had her on turn 1. You had Marvel Boy. You weren't sure you were going to get other 1-drops to put in there. And it's you got to set up because you want that 3, because you want him to hit. If you already have 1s on the board, then when you play him on 3, right, that's the maximum you get. So that's what happens. And then later you draw your Spider Ham. And you're like, well, that's perf. Let's hit up that Apocalypse. Let's get rid of that Thanos that they have all their little fucking stones out for, So what? You're telling me you're not gonna play a Spider Ham against a discard deck, so you can only have 3 squirrels out? Okay, anyway.
I might do it, but I will be aware that it has introduced an element of uncertainty into what was otherwise operating like clockwork. But But no, I'll probably play it. I just won't be happy about it, and I will be aware of what we lost in the process.
Slash hours played Marvel Boy compared to mine, and then come back to me and tell me you only played 3 1-drops on the board. Okay, anyway.
No, I'm telling you, I'll play the Spider Ham. I'll just I'll feel unpleasant about it because I'll know that I am potentially.
He does the little bonk, and then you get you're gonna be like, why did I look away from the screen when he saw it? Now, and you can't. When you hit it, it's it doesn't tell you what you missed. And it's tell me what he hit. I deserve to know. Okay, I always miss the Cardi bonks. I hate it. All right. Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay. This week, we had a patch on Tuesday. It did not add a lot, and it did not add a lot, or even more so, it didn't add a lot that we didn't already know about. Because the main changes were economy changes. The duplicate in the spotlight is now worth 2,000 tokens. And CL track, if you're not Series 3 complete, gives out twice as many Series 3 cards, which both of those are great changes. Deal. Yes, they're huge, important changes. They are stopgaps until the economy rework happens sometime soon, hopefully. But they're great stopgaps.
It's still not enough that I could recommend this game to a friend.
Right. Did you indeed hold out for the patch before picking up Victoria or Moonstone?
I did. I did hold before picking up Victoria Hand. I did not get the. I got Victoria Hand.
You're right.
And,
it's a Victoria Hand right before Moonstone dropped
variant, but no tokens there. But then Moonstone, of course, I did get the 4th prize, and it did.
That's good.
Roll a duplicate. It was Agony, by the way.
Oh, you have a second Agony.
That became 2,000 tokens.
Okay.
I really should have waited to get Moonstone with tokens, though, because I wasn't crazy about the variants in the spotlight this week. So I was silly. I was 100 tokens away. I should have just waited. So if
that's
you're
basically
ever
why I did
like that, think about it and wait and get those tokens, and don't get a spotlight variant you aren't excited about.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's never a good feeling.
Isn't this coming Tuesday a strong token Tuesday?
In theory, it's an unnaturally strong token Tuesday. Also, I saw there were in the answers or whatever on Discord, there was some kind of question about the unusually strong token Tuesday we had earlier this month. And I think the official Second Dinner Company line was, no, we definitely did that on purpose. It wasn't a spreadsheet fuck up, but it totally was.
We're messing with values all the time.
Yeah, I think we're probably in for another 1,200 tokens for 700 gold because they can't be bothered to fix it. And that's fine. Collect your free tokens is my feeling.
Here's your Token Tuesday watch in the wrong spot of the podcast. But, pay attention on Tuesday. If you don't normally get Token Tuesday, you should get it if it's 1,200 tokens for 700 gold. That's a banger. Okay, back to the patch. A few cards got text changes. They just changed to game start that Arshem already picked up. I think it helps a lot with clarity. I'm really glad they added this keyword. But none of them had their abilities changed. It's just strictly like cosmetic. It makes the text easier. Agatha, Thanos, Uatu, High Evolutionary, and Emperor Hulkling all got game start text. Woo! Are you also fans of this change?
I like it because I think that Super Smash Brothers used to have some stages that began with the words game start.
Oh,
I don't know.
That's a good reason. Okay.
And it's fewer words that get across the same thing, and as we get longer text, and yeah, it's good.
Some of them, I just think like Agatha and Thanos were just clunky. Anyway, Lasher got VFX added. They were held back because of QA reasons. I only learned that when I put together today's show notes because I didn't know that. I haven't seen a Lasher in the wild do his thing, or I haven't been paying attention anyway. Have either of you seen Lasher animation, whatever it is?
I haven't seen it yet. No, and I played decent Lasher before.
Yeah, I'm gonna go check it out at some point. Bunch of bug fixes as usual, but one in specific I wanted to highlight. Kate Bishop adding only one arrow to your hand and then having a max size hand no longer stalls the game. That's huge. That was a really annoying bug.
Yeah, that's a big old deal.
Super annoying bug. If you didn't know, yeah.
All the long hangs are. I never know what causes them. I assume this was a source of frustration in me in one of my games. Like, all right, now I know.
Yeah.
Kate.
If Kate
get your shit together.
If she fills your hand with a single arrow, she would hang the game for like 30 seconds. And you just had to wait. I guess you could probably quit and relaunch the game and reconnect, but that's always risky. Don't do that. Okay, and now we're going to go into Datamines. So, are you ready? Did you have something to say?
Oh,
okay.
No, I'm very excited about it. Also, I was checking. I can't figure out which N64 game I'm hearing the game start from.
Game start.
It's Lauren knows how it's said. Yep,
it's
I
like
don't
Mario Party or something.
I think it might have been Mario Party
or Mario Tennis. I don't know.
It was just bugging me. Oh, it might have been Mario Tennis. I like that one. But I'm not as much as I like these cards. Whoo, baby. Let's talk about it.
February, Red Wing used to bounce 1-cost cards, but now is totally different. A 3/3. The first time this moves, add a card from your hand to the old location. I think this one's very hard to evaluate. Like, it's a strong ability, but you have to use something that moves him.
It's sort of like move Ghost Rider, I guess you might. Like,
yeah?
You know, like you're cheating out something big.
It's from your hand.
And the trigger is movement. And like those two things don't necessarily go together, I would say.
Movement wants to sequence things carefully, and all of a sudden, what, you're going to drop your Heimdall early? Or like
I don't like something getting grabbed out of my hand. Like I don't like, this is a very powerful effect. So like there must be like a way to like harness it in a controlled fashion. Or If there is a way to harness it in a controlled fashion, it'll be good. But if there isn't, then it's not.
Yeah,
I can see that, but that's going to be in a move fashion. This card will probably just, not because I really hate it, but because there's so many other cards to want, would probably be a skip for me. Because it's like, okay, I would play this with like Penny Parker maybe to like, get the, spider on it and move it that way. But other than that, to me, it looks like a move card. Like it needs to go in a move deck and do move things. And I'm not so much a move player.
You know who I kind of like it with? Kind of like it with Spider-Man 2099. Like, can you like imagine? You've got like you want a big thing that's worth cheating out, but not something that like has a huge on reveal that you didn't want to let out of the bag, like Heimdall or whatever. So like I feel like Iron Fist over your Red Wing, then Spider-Man 2099 pops out, then I don't know, you Doctor Strange it, a turn later or something, or whenever is appropriate.
5 energy is huge, but what about when Red Wing accidentally pulls out Doctor Strange first instead of?
See, that's
29?
the thing. I don't know. It does seem just like, yeah, I don't know.
I
hope there's something there.
It puts the card in the old location, and I think that's probably weaker than putting it in the new location.
Oh, I think I disagree.
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I think you don't want to be like putting 2 cards in the same spot. Like you're just limiting your future.
Well, that'll come up later for another card, which does put it in the new location. Okay. Bonus card, Cobra. I have him listed as a bonus card because he's not in the spotlight schedule. He's like a game mode card or something. Who knows if we're even getting him next month, but he dropped with the other February cards in the Datamines in the first place. He was like, what, 3/6? You could only play him if your opponent had a single card there. And I said, there is no way the card ships like this. It is pure trash.
Yeah, just complete garbage.
We widely banned it. It's a 2/3. I mean, anything would be better.
Yeah,
it's a 2/3.
Sure this is good.
Activate. Switch an enemy card here that didn't start in your opponent's deck to your side. Strong ability when it works.
Yes, but how do you make it work? How do you force it to work?
I agree.
Luna Snow.
That's basically the only one. Yeah. You don't want to bring back a goblin. Titania is too little to do this with. I
mean, like, it's fun on Monster Island.
Very cool on Monster Island, yes.
End of list.
It feels like a tech card. It's only a 2/3. I totally see swapping this in if you're facing a ton of Victoria Hand, Thanos, Kate's everywhere, Kate Bishop, and what, you're just gonna steal someone's Pim arrow, that they put next to their Ant-Man? It's gonna be
Iron Patriot.
I'm not saying it's super amazing, but I think it's better than what I'm hearing. There's so many cards now. There's so many that are out of, card gen decks. Like I said, Kate Bishop is played a lot. There's so many other cards that do this that I can see putting it as tech against the meta the way you would in Mobius or.
I guess. It's a 2 that you can't play on 2 though.
Of course you can.
Do you think because then opponent will just play them not to play any of their good stuff in that lane?
Okay,
it has to be in the same lane as Cobra.
Look at other tech cards in this area, right? You got Mobius, Luke Cage, Armor, even where they're all like Ben was saying. You can use them to your advantage too, right? In Pixie, you can use Mobius. There are plenty of Affliction decks and stuff that can use Luke. Cobra, there are very few things that you can proactively do to ensure that he's helping the game plan. And so that's where I'm like, he's a cool tech card against the right matchup.
So there's that factor. But also, really, you shouldn't play him on 2 because it's like the U.S. agent thing. You're letting them know where they are and are not allowed to play the relevant cards. They're not going to play any viable targets on your Cobra lane.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's an activate too. I also I kind of missed that part. That does make it way
if it were
rougher.
an on reveal, I would be a lot more excited.
That's a good point.
It does prevent your you're right, but it prevents it if they have something big. It's very specific.
Well, no, they just play it somewhere else and win a different
lane. But that's what I'm saying. You've prevented them from playing it in that lane, their game-winning card, into another lane.
We're playing a 2/3 as a deterrent against generated cards.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying it's tech against generated cards, and there's a lot more of those splashed, a lot more. And, Thanos will reign again eventually.
Do you want to steal an Infinity
there's always
Stone?
those times.
No.
But usually then they're also playing, I guess you couldn't steal, because usually they want to play Mockingbird in that deck, which sometimes means they're playing other nonsense. I mean, there's plenty of hoods out there. You can steal maybe. But once again, it's an activate, so you'd want to play it after. It's a tough
wait for them to drop the demon. Yeah.
This is why it's a bonus card.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
it'll be great on turn
bad.
5 when the circumstances are perfect.
Right.
It will definitely
it's
win some
bad.
games.
But not as bad as Old Cobra.
Not nearly as
Yeah,
bad. No.
still, and way more intriguing, right? You want to like puzzle
Absolutely.
out this card a
Yep.
bit. Whereas the last one was just like, nope, throw it back. All right.
Okay. March season cards were leaked, or were in the Datamines. We know now for sure. It was already suspected because of like text that was in the game, but now we have pictures, and we're like, okay, it's 1 billion. What is it? 1 million BC. I almost said billion, but I think it's 1
believe
million.
the name of the season is Prehistoric Avengers.
Oh, thank you.
And
Okay,
it's
Prehistoric
adapted
Avengers.
from the Avengers 1 million BC.
The
I believe those are the numbers.
The original Avengers, and our season pass card is Agamotto, a 6/12 with the text at the start of the game. Shuffle some amount of spells into your deck. We don't know what that amount is yet. And then he comes with 5 different spells that are like tokens.
And we don't know what they do, and we don't know how many of them go in. 3 of them cost 5, 1 of them costs 3, 1 of them costs 2. And they all do have fun Doctor Strange-ass names, like Winds of Watum, Flames of the Faltine, Bolts of Balthak. I've got all of these in Marvel's Midnight Suns as cards.
That's where you think of them.
The 5th one does not have a cool name. I mean, it's a cool name, but it's not like... It doesn't sound like it's a magical spell in the same way. Temporal
Images
manipulation.
Temporal
manipulation.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, does it have
thanks.
Oh, they have different names in the text than they do in the artwork. I see tendrils of Ichthalon. Yeah. Okay. Well,
I don't think the listeners can see this, but it is a little confusing. But yeah, we don't know what this card does.
This card. I like it though. I love Nico.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
I love Nico. I love that it gives me a bunch of other cards. It's going to be, it's going to be like the more fun Thanos. I think.
You're saying, I like this person's hat. I should leave my child with them at the grocery store. On what basis are you liking this card? We don't know anything.
This is just a preview.
But Quinjet, you can actually use it with these cards. Unlike Thanos, Agamotto doesn't necessarily start in your hand, and they're each going to have a different effect that'll probably be fun, like a Nico, and situationally useful.
Currently, the Ramona cards too.
Fun.
I'm glad this is a season pass card. I want it, and I want to play with it, and I'm glad it's going to be one that I can just get.
The fact that it's a season pass card, I mean, Nico wasn't, but the fact that this is a season pass card makes me think it's going to be very fun. It looks like a fun card. Am I going to play a 6/12? Probably not. But if he does cool shit, I might.
Yeah. I mean, that is the Magneto stat line. I like Magneto, but
let me be a wizard.
I can't have an opinion about this card until I know what it does, even a little bit.
You can! I do! We're all gonna be wizards. It'll be fun.
I mean, I like Winds of Watum and Midnight Suns. It's got that quick keyword.
So
lets
you can
refund your action. Strong
just take your good feelings about one thing, like Nico or Midnight Suns, and just, put them into your potential hopes for the future. That's all you gotta do.
Yeah, half the cards in March we don't have text for yet, and we're just gonna do the best we can. Next one, the first week of March, Isan, another Celestial like Arishem, with the text Legendary. At the start of the game, if all your cards have different powers, give them +2 power. And he's a 6/13.
They can't release it
so fun. This is so fun. I want we all want this. It'll be too fun. You're right. They're gonna nerf
in the game.
It's gonna
Let's
give
get
them
the legendary
+1
part out of the way first. We're assuming that legendary means 1 legendary card per deck.
Yes, that is the assumption. Do you think they're gonna retcon and make High Evo a legendary and stuff?
Arasham, I would think.
Only if they want
qualify.
people to not play High Evo ever again.
Yeah. Arasham seems the strongest to me. Maybe Galactus, Thanos. Like, I could see those maybe. They need to be really careful with it, right? Because every legendary card really, like, it takes away from design space or deck building space.
That's what I'm concerned about. I don't like this idea that, like, now every deck you have to be playing at least exactly one of these overpowered legendary cards. And it's like, which legendary are you playing? Like,
that's true.
Like now every archetype is just the legendary card, and it's
plus 11
stupid
cards.
I honestly don't even know what else it could mean besides that you're limited to one.
No other ideas. Your opening hand is only Isan, nothing else.
Oh, whoa!
I think it has to be one per deck. Like, if it was anything else, if it was anything more complicated, it wouldn't be a keyword, right? It has to be some keyword that they're going to reuse.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Power creep be creeping. Like, that does seem so good.
I think if it came out like this, it would be the strongest card.
EDH. But like that's like what they're doing. Like, your deck needs to have a leader card, and it's just like, give us some freedom. Let us make choices, and like let all the cards be equal. It's just ridiculous. I don't know.
Cards are already not equal.
No, but at least they're all like, I don't know. It's true that they're not all equally good, but like they're all equally cards. You know, they're all competing for the same deck slots and things. Like, if
there's a tier, and now you feel more pressure to get the legendaries because you need to always probably have one if they're that powerful.
If they're as powerful as this card is, then every deck needs to have one.
Yeah, I know.
I think that's why they're making another Celestial. Right? Like, I think that's why they're making another Celestial. Arasham, good. If we print another Celestial, that's a banger. Then every time we print a Celestial, everybody's going to get it. Like, that's our way to, print cards that are like guaranteed purchases.
No, it's the text on this card. It's exciting. It's like, hells yeah, do I want to put a deck of different power cards together and they're all +2?
It's a really cool deck building challenge, but +2 to every
everything's
deck
so much better at +2.
It's way too strong. Yeah.
Way too
1/3
strong.
Spider-Ham. Like,
yep.
Are you kidding me?
Yes, please.
Your 0/4 Yellow Jacket, that's a card I'd play. I mean, 0/3 Wasp is great too. It's just, literally they can't print this. Like, I'm more sure Isan will change than I was sure Cobra would change.
Yep.
It's way, way, way too strong. Unless Legendary is a huge downside that we haven't thought of.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
I think it's exactly what we think it is.
Yep, me too. Okay. Starbrand. So many big cards right at the start of the season.
Surturkane.
Starbrand, 6
card
8.
Ever.
At the start of the game, +2 power for each card in your deck with 10 or more power. This is a very easy skip for me. Yes.
Yeah.
It's just like, where else does it go besides Scar Surtur? It's just like that deck's just more and more shaping into, it's like, this is exactly what the deck has to be, and because it's like these cards are just too good. You can't not put them together in this deck, and then that means, you must put in the other cards are going to be like armor or whatever, so
he's
that's kind of the bummer.
A 6/16 in Scar.
That seems about right to me, yeah.
Cool. Great.
Yeah. It's not
Clever
a fun
design.
deck
It's
building thing because it
It's
just
good.
goes.
Of course it's
just
good.
automatically goes with stuff right now. Maybe if we have enough big power card decks that I don't know.
I have such mixed feelings about this season because I think the theme is really cool, but yeah, Starbrand is boring as hell. And 3 big cards right off the start is hard. Now, given Isan is a big card, like, that's the type of Arasham big card.
Yeah, but it's the kind
you're
don't
not
play.
necessarily playing him. Given 6/15 that's a good card.
It's the card when you're bummed when it's like when they're like, get the highest cost card in your opponent's hand, and you're like, whoa, what I get? And you're like, Arasham, no.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, next up, Firehair, the original Phoenix Force, or at least maybe the first one on Earth. She's a 2/2. You can move this once. Good. When this moves, revive one of your destroyed cards here.
This card is so cool.
This is an extremely cool card. Very Phoenix Force-y, appropriate.
Mm-hmm. Also very Nocturne-y in that you can move this once, but it'd probably be pretty cool to move it again, wouldn't it?
Oh. Hello. Yes.
Yeah, it doesn't limit it. Yeah.
The first one.
It is.
That's what she's called Firehair.
Whew. Okay, so
That's
it's random. Yes. It's random which card gets revived.
Yeah, so give her a few targets and bring them all back.
Very cool stuff you could do with this
there
for
in
sure.
the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, way cooler than Starbrand.
Mm-hmm. This is the kind of card
that than Esan.
Yeah, I like this one for sure.
Mm-hmm. Wish my hair were fire.
I mean, it's the adjective fire. I think your hair's fire. All right.
Oh yeah.
You learn.
Khonshu. Very excited for this card. Just I think Khonshu's a cool character. 2/1. Yeah. We don't know what he does. He doesn't have text, but there are also token cards. If you do want to scroll up to Agamotto, there are token cards, Khonshu Waxing and Khonshu Full. And then we're putting the pieces together because there's also a card that is a bonus card, Fan Fei, who was the first Iron Fist. When you discard this, put it back waxing and get +1 energy next turn. That sounds like Khonshu's text to me. What I'm trying to say is you discard Khonshu, he comes back to your hand in a stronger form. You get the waxing form first, and you get +1 energy next turn. And then if you discard the waxing form, I assume, you come back with the full form. That's cool. You know, God of the
and
Moon.
You would discard him with Moon Knight.
The waxing and full have text about hulking out, which is clearly not a
placeholder.
That's some kind of placeholder. So I would categorize Khonshu and any associated generated cards in the same sort of bucket as what's his name, Agamotto.
Yeah,
with the spells.
we don't know enough.
I don't know what this card actually does. I'm not going to tell you I am or am not excited about a card that I don't know.
I am so excited about it.
Yes, just conceptually.
It's definitely going to work with Moon Knight. Moon Knight has been ruined for me to be he's not even in my comfort discard anymore. I took him out because it's honestly just better with Grandmaster for him and still Blade in. And he'll definitely work with Moon Knight. He'll bring it back. I'm interested in this quest.
It's really cool.
The ever greater, cards.
Yeah,
do I need to know all the details? Nah. I'm hype.
I'm excited about more discard things, but
You'll work with
love to
Ravonna.
actually know what he does. Maybe.
Sorry, saying
I don't think anything about this card looks very permanent or certain.
No.
Probably that base artwork.
I'd say it's certain that he'll be even costed so that he works with Moon Knight.
Yes, that seems like a safe bet.
I would suspect waxing is a 4 cost and full is a 6 cost. Could be wrong. That'd be kind of interesting. I don't know.
It's an interesting.
Do you even want to play Khonshu?
Waxing.
Maybe you don't want to play him. I don't know.
Oh yeah, you're right. It was Ravonna, but no. It's probably okay.
He's gonna get stronger when you discard him, right?
Maybe. We don't know. Or maybe he'll just get a +10 chance to Hulk out. I don't know.
Yeah. It's +10? Oh, +10%. Yeah, 10%. Very strong.
Imagine what a tilt card would be if it was 10 whatever % chance to discard your opponent's entire hand.
So are we excited that there's a little knob we can change now where +10%, oh, you've got a 30% chance to Hulk out now. Is that exciting gameplay moving from 20% chance to Hulk out to 30% chance to Hulk out? Because I kind of think it ain't. But that's
it's not.
Chances in 50%.
It's just a placeholder. It's fine.
Make it a coin flip at least.
Okay. Fan Fei, as previously mentioned, first Iron Fist. Oh, her text is We have no stats. We have no image. Just that she exists.
Nice stats, no stats.
Right. Ghost, the first writer, an early Ghost writer, who I will at least say looks very cool. He's writing a mammoth that's fiery.
Oh, that's so cool.
Ghost Rider vehicles are wont to be. 2-4, but we have no abilities, so. We also got a preview of a new game mode. Is it going to be a permanent game mode or a temporary one? I would guess temporary, but Sanctum Showdown seems very Doctor Strange themed, based on the one picture and the name that we got. This is what SnapFan says about it. There are 15 turns, and every turn a location is selected to be contested. The winner scores points. At the end of each turn, a card from each player's board on that contested location is removed from the game and placed back in the deck. It sounds very chaotic. 15 turns sounds way too long, so I wonder if that's like a max rather than an always.
Yeah.
Unless this mode goes really fast and there's like 10-second timers.
Yeah, I feel like there's something missing from this explanation. Like,
absolutely.
Sort of detail that is going to make it add up.
Yeah. Well, anyway. Could be promising. I like to see something that sounds significantly different, right? Like High Voltage is significantly different versus Diner, which is not.
Gotta say,
this will make all those move cards like super valuable.
Yeah,
right. You're gonna want all those cards that can move once. You know,
it's true, so that you know which location is the.
That might be good.
If the next like now you know this one's contested, so you move it there. Maybe it gets kicked back for your deck for you to play again. You know.
Oh. Yeah. Maybe sometimes you want it to be kicked back.
Constrain deck building too much, you know?
We have an OTA on Thursday, today. Day of recording, anyway. Probably not the day you're listening to this. I have not read the OTA yet.
Me either.
Woo. Ben?
You just pulled it up now.
It's out.
Okay, I know it's out. I'm wondering if you've already read it.
I skimmed it.
Okay, I've got it up in front of me.
Recording.
You get some.
It opened It opens up when you open the client. You know, like I can't
see. I haven't opened the client since the OTA. Okay, here we go. First OTA of 2025. First up, Scream. Hell yeah, 2-3 to 2-2, but has now been fixed so that Luke Cage interacts with Scream the same way that Rocket Raccoon and Groot do, which is to say, Luke Cage completely stops Scream from working.
That makes me happy. I don't have Scream. I find Scream decks annoying often, depending on what I'm playing. So
yes and yes.
I like Scream. I'm rooting for Scream, but like as like a good like balanced fun card that makes sense, you know, like the Luke Cage thing didn't make sense before, and that bothered me. I just want to live in a world that makes sense.
She's so good. I have feelings about the Luke Cage thing. I think it's kind of annoying that Steel is different from Affliction, but I'm at least glad it's consistent with Rocket Raccoon and Groot. That made no sense that Scream and Rocket Raccoon and Groot work differently. Spider-Man. Oh, wow. Spider-Man 3-5 to 2-4.
Hell yeah.
That's nutty.
Yeah, I'll miss him in Surfer. Oh, bye-bye.
Yeah, I thought of that. I'm like, Ben, Surfer moves.
But the thing is, I play him everywhere else, and this is better.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Spider-Man does whatever a 2-4 can. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm so psyched for this card. Oh.
Right? This makes him way better than this is a nerf to Juggernaut, because like he'll do a lot of the same ways I would use Juggernaut. Like I'll use him to pull a Wong out of a lane or something before they, you know, stick their card down there. Like,
yeah,
he's not a turn this is in the same way.
Good for Spider-Man, but like Juggernaut is still Juggernaut, and this is not taking anything away from what he's good at.
For me, for my one little tech card that I'll throw in a deck, you know, I will sometimes think about, because like he's only 2 cost. You know, I'm not talking like Surfer decks and stuff.
He has
for
good
me,
stats.
It's this decision point between the two, because I'm not playing big move decks. I'm throwing him in as my one. What's the Red Guardian slot now? Generally, Red Guardian takes that. It's like, hey, Spidey will disrupt a lot of stuff. And,
it's a very powerful effect. People don't give it enough credit.
Agreed.
Also, I think it's interesting that in their justification, they admit that as one of our most popular characters, we also want to keep Spidey positioned at an exciting rate for gameplay. Where's that logic for Steve Rogers, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, he's getting special synergy next month.
And it's only been like 3 years. There's this new character, cool. Captain America, and people really have they've grown fond of him since we launched Marvel Snap, and we're finally gonna give you something to do with him.
Okay, Luke Cage, 3-3 to 3-2. Fine. He's really, really good and flexible right now.
This doesn't change anything to me.
I think probably still too good, but I'm glad that there's at least this for now. Make him weaker.
This is so interesting, though. I was just reading what they said, and they're like, they want to split up the roles that Luke Cage serves into different cards. So it sounds like at some point he's going to... Look at this. So they said... Okay, let's just read it. Luke is in an interesting spot, serving as a release valve against cards like Hazmat, a precaution for decks like Cerebro, and a combo piece for cards like Anti-Venom. That's a lot of hats, and Luke's frankly very good at wearing all of them. This has the added side effect of making decks that want to play with Afflict or Power Stealing abilities weaker, because Luke Cage just happens to be in some decks using the effect for their own reasons. We're going to work toward finding a better division of labor for some of these roles in the future. But until then, we like to weaken them a bit.
Love it. That's a perfect explanation. And the right direction to take Luke.
Interesting. To make him more of a defense card that can't really be good for you beyond
just divide him up. Mm-hmm. Right, you have one of them that protects you from your own affliction, one of them that protects you. Maybe they bring back Luke Cage as a single lane, the current version that he is, but only a single lane. Yeah.
Well, they could give him a good stat line if they did that. Like, they could make him 3-5 or something.
You're right.
I think he was 3-4 with that ability.
He has been 3-4 before.
Yeah. Okay. U.S. Agent. Ongoing 4, 5, and 6 cost cards here have -3 power instead of -4. That's unsurprising because U.S. Agent has been very, very strong.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised, because this was U.S. Agent's original text, and he was received as weak. But
he wasn't. He was just fine. But people are, I don't know.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. He was fine. He needed the -4 for everybody to realize he was fine, and he'll still be fine.
Okay. Tried to tell
I feel like it is reaching the point now where you might be hoping more to double that effect. I mean...
Yeah. Which you can do with Moonstone.
This is a big difference against a Surtur deck,
It still makes Hobgoblin -11. That seems plenty to me.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Khazar gets a power, 4-4 to 4-5. Fine. Nothing else to say about that.
I had a secret prediction that I didn't tell anyone. In my mind, not even in private, did I confide to my friends and my colleagues. My prediction for this OTA was that either Khazar or Miss Marvel or perhaps Omega Red, somebody was going to 3 to make Moonstone look a little shinier.
Oh.
That was my guess. And it didn't happen. But they did bump Khazar, so I was sort of in the neighborhood. I thought they might take him down to 3 to make him doubleable.
Hey, but as they say in the notes, it is a buff to an early card that a lot of players have, which is thumbs up for me.
I think they could take him all the way to 4-6 and it'd be fine.
I feel like so many of the old cards are power crept at this point, and I'm always happy to see a buff on an old card.
This is a positive change.
Very early on, Khazar is like the strongest deck you can be playing. It doesn't last very long, but I think it's true for a while. Hydra Bob loses a power. This is just like US Agent, where he was probably fine at 1/4, but then needed to be 1/5 to people actually, to get people to buy in. Now he's a 1/4 again.
Yeah. I think it's a little silly to be, vacillating like that, but whatever. I do think that 1/5 was too good. I think maybe they could have just kept him at 1/4 and people would have figured it out eventually, but whatever. Fine.
I mean, at least you can sometimes think about playing Martyr instead, but there's still the 1/4 is still without that auto lose condition.
Yeah. You know who else is a 1/4 without an auto lose condition? America Chavez, great card.
You're right though, Ben. I don't play her enough. I should play her more.
I don't think anybody plays her enough.
I mostly play her in my Aquarian. Yeah.
Well, Safety Snapbot agrees with me. It's a good card.
I agree with you.
Refer to
Shame on me. I have a great.
I don't want to be on the same side as the AI tool. Does that seem like something Ben Roller wants to like that?
No.
These bedfellows could not get much stranger.
Okay. Sentry and Void. Sentry is going to 4/9 from 4/8, and Void is going from -8 to -9.
Good.
Yeah, good change. The changing them
from
from
4/10.
They changed directly from 10 to 8, right? They skipped
did.
over 9.
This is the smart place to
Yeah, this seems like a good sweet spot.
I like it.
4/9's pretty good. You still dodge the Shang-Chi.
But as we've learned, dodging Shang-Chi is never better than being 10 power.
Right, absolutely.
And you still have to. This is still a card you're building for. Usually not just.
Gotta deal with that Void.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Onslaught 6/7 to 6/8. Fine.
I like it.
Tribunal's happy.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to play more Onslaught, but I do have a lot of difficulty getting excited about playing a 6/7.
Yeah.
This is stood in my way the entire time I've been playing Snap, because Onslaught's been 6/7 the whole time.
Oh yeah, he hasn't really changed.
And it wasn't big enough for me to play when I started playing, and things have only crept bigger,
Right. Ooh, Mr. Fantastic. 3/2 to 3/1, but his ability goes adjacent locations have +3 power instead of +2 power. That's a good change. He's a 3/7.
Yeah.
And a Ravonna card.
A Ravonna card! Oh, I gotta play with this now. This is my most exciting change now. Because this took him from I didn't want to play him at all to now maybe we can have some fun.
But if you do have to play him on one of the sides, he's still only good for 4, which is...
That's true.
It ties the Jeffries now. Sorry that I said Jeffries. Sorry, Jeff. Baby shark.
I mean, I'm glad this change happened. I think they could have done a little more for him.
Yeah.
This is still better. +3 to a location, that's something you want to double up way more than a +2,
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's something you want to copy with a Mystique way more than a +2 or a Moonstone, It's just...
Okay.
I like it. Now I compare more. Now you think more about but maybe we put it with the Omega Red instead of one or the other, with an Onslaught on there.
It's a more interesting card. I think they still could have done something nicer for him, maybe made him a 2 cost.
3/0 +4. Okay.
That would be hard. A 2 even at +2 would be even a 2/0 at +2.
No, I think a 2/2 at +2, that would be just fine.
That's too big. That's way too.
Look at the 2. It's a 2/6 if you get to play it in the middle.
Lanes. Yeah,
which you often do. People play Medusa plenty.
Usually, you get to play in the middle. Yeah.
But like for some reason,
right,
it was
like,
enough to keep us from playing a 3/6 back when a 3/6 should have been good enough to get played. So like,
but I mean,
don't
like
know.
there's 3/6 Ironheart. There's 1/5 Squirrel Girl, 1/4 Squirrel Girl. Given she takes up space, which yeah. Anyway, or like 6/15 Doom. Like we're okay with cards being higher power when they're spread out more.
Yeah, pairs better with a Miss Marvel than Omega Red now, you know, on the curve if you're trying to get an onslaught in that lane.
Okay. Interesting. 6/7. Oh, it's an ability change. Okay, her old ability, we all know. Resurrect all cards you discarded to random locations with -3 power. Now she's a 6/9 on reveal. For each different cost among them, resurrect a card you discarded to a random location. So one res per
deck building
cost.
challenge now.
She can only resurrect 1/6 cost.
This might make hella cool. Like, because now I'm like, ooh, we can put, instead of just like, oh, you're just trying to dump the biggest cards and then bring them back, hopefully with a loot cage. Oh, this makes it more interesting.
I don't know if it's better or worse. But
it's better because I want to do it.
Yeah, you know,
they don't have the -3 power anymore.
Yeah, if it is worse, it's not significantly worse, I think, because like that -3 power is like a big deal, and like you can find some quality 5 costs and 4 costs to pitch. You know, like come on, I'm excited to resurrect a Claw or an Iron Man or a I don't know, like whatever else people. I don't know about big cards. Fill in the
she doesn't have to
blanks.
play Luke anymore.
Yep. Like being unburdened from playing Luke Cage is a huge like boost for the whole deck, is my opinion.
Yeah, I think it makes Black Cat a great card for at least for Hella.
Yay!
Oh yeah! Wow, gotta run, hun.
Come on! This is yes. This is so exciting. Like I didn't want to deck build with the old one. I found it annoying to. Where, you know, I was either annoyed or dismissive whenever I played against it. And now, sorry, that's mean because, like, I, you know, a lot of people
any feelings on this call.
Hella. No, but, like, I liked Irisham, and I know that annoyed people. Anyway, I shouldn't be mean. So, but I did want to deck build with you, old Hella. And this one, like, I kind of do. It seems fun.
Yeah,
and then
much
maybe
more
if it's
interesting.
trickier, okay. This is okay. I thought I was excited about
I'm just a little
Mr.
worried
Fantastic,
that
but
we're
wins.
excited about the texture of the gameplay, but like we might not like how good she still is.
That's what I was going to say. I don't like Hella, and I don't want this to revive Hella. I don't want to be seeing a lot of Hella out there. She's still dropping a ton of power on random locations.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
I wonder if we're like celebrating
we're divergent
our
on this
impending demise or whatever, you know.
I wonder if Ghost Rider is actually a good card now for her because she can revive Ghost Rider.
I love Ghost Rider and Black Cat.
And there will be things in your discard pool for Ghost Rider to revive because Hella won't be, emptying the whole thing out on the table herself.
She doesn't just make him pointless. Yeah.
Yep. Oh wow.
You don't understand. This brings so many cards that I love. I'm so hyped.
I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
This is the winner of the OTA.
OTA.
Yeah.
Long live Hella.
My winner is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I already forgot. No, Spider-Man is the best. Like, that's the most powerful card to come out of this OTA.
It's very cool anyway. Okay. Very fun. Okay.
Cloak that doesn't help them. Yes.
Well, it depends on what he does. But yeah, probably.
But
yeah. Okay, on to our side quests. This week, it's just the secret homework. I assigned it, but it was kind of from our Discord. I think Ruka was the one who suggested it, and several of you voted it. So I picked it. It was to design a card of one of your co-hosts, and we decided on a rotation. I'll go. I don't know if I should go first or last because I'm also assigning next week's homework.
Okay, the person who assigns the new homework goes last.
Okay,
is tradition.
All right.
In which case, Ben goes first. I've arbitrarily decided.
Well, I don't know how y'all are feeling about yours. I am feeling pretty good about mine. I went through some ideas. I will tell you about one of them. One of the ideas was to buff cards on your side that that were not duplicates of cards in your opponent's starting deck. So like you would be rewarded for playing cards that nobody else would ever play, like an Emperor Hulkling or a Groot Classic.
Moon Knight.
But yeah, or maybe Moon Knight, but people play Moon Knight. But but like I just realized that like that would just be too many cards too much of the time. It just like it wasn't going to be exciting. So then I decided like let's zoom in. Let's get specific. Let's get down into the details. What does Rie like to play? And I thought back to, I know what Rie likes to play. And frankly, like when I even know what Rie's following likes to play, because I matched up with Rie and I saw that the name of her alliance was the Moon Knights of Meek. And is that correct? Do I remember correctly?
Yeah, I think if I remember correctly, I think it was Wombat Combat who came up with that name, but I'm not sure. He's not even in my life.
That does not shock me even a little bit. So I decided I wanted something that would go well with those cards, but like I wanted it to not just be a generically good discard card. I wanted it to be like a very, very Rie-styled discard card. So it's just Rie. 3/4. Whenever you discard an even costed card, give each of your odd costed cards +1 power.
Oh,
that's very cool.
Do you know how difficult it was to keep this very good idea under my gosh dang hat while we were talking about all these discard things throughout the entire episode in every previous topic? I just wanted to be like, oh, well, you're saying something that really ties into the card I designed for you. But,
oh, I love it, though. It's
so
a
now
reason
you just know
to
I was
put
thinking that.
Swordmaster with Moon Knight again. Like, I love it. And Proxima, all the cards.
Kind of isn't, because Swordmaster wouldn't trigger It's Just Rie, because he's discarding odd cost cards, and you want to put the odd cost cards on the board, and you want to discard the even cost cards.
That's so cool to like turn it into a quest.
It's the order that you put it into.
Bullseye the Swarms. It's pretty tasty.
Yeah, I do want to play. I play too much Drac. There's for blood.
You can play them both in the same. Like in my current discard deck, I just assume that you're going to draw a swarm on turn 6. So like, just always do the MODOK early. Like just don't chance it. That's my theory. Anywho, that was the card. I thought it was pretty good.
I love it.
I would play it. I hope you would play it.
I would definitely play.
You're usually playing APOC with your Draculas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so that's another even discard.
Yep. There are a lot of even cards you want to discard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Proxima Midnight.
A lot of odd cards that need a little love.
Yes. That is more true.
Affection. Okay. And then I made for Lauren. Okay. And I should preface this. I have actually made previously to us forming a podcast together, custom cards for both of them in Unity that they didn't get to see the full glory of, because then I had to try and like video capture it and like put it into other formats than game modes. But I have, in fact, already made custom cards for both of them with effects and everything. For Lauren's card though, okay. I utilized the new text. Game start. Choose mean, median, or mode. And then the text of the card and the reveal, it's going to flash. And each one of them in honor of Splitsmiths it'll flash, mean as like gold or ink, meaning as crackle. And the card will change splits because we have to honor, the Splitsmiths that Lauren gave us. And, and then the text of the card is, this card's power is always equal to the mean, median, or mode that gets filled in at the beginning of the game and the game start animation of all the cards on the board.
Ooh, that's very cool.
Oh, and it's like a 3 cast.
We're all 3 costs. I'm sure that's not a big spoiler that I made
cards, I guess.
3. That's so fun. Okay, so wait, the choosing at the beginning, that's random, right?
It's random, yeah. Sorry, if I didn't say random, I meant to.
No.
It's too exciting to get to the other parts of it.
That's super fun.
I know. Think about all the math you'd have to do with that card. I just retreat. I'd be like, I don't know. It's 3. Like calculating median on the fly.
It's interesting to think about like how you would maximize all 3 of those. So you've certainly.
I thought about making it the greatest of those. But I decided the other one was better.
Yeah. It's very fun. I love it. And thematic. It's mathy. Okay. Everybody say it together. What are Ben's stats? 3, 5.
Okay. Yeah.
Obviously, like I had no other choice. Okay. I mean, there were many options, but I thought a move card, a surfer card, those seems like Ben's sweet spot. And then I think Ben has secret affection for Merge. Maybe not so secret, but anyway.
That's true. I like Merge okay.
Yeah, you like how it helps you with space?
I do.
Okay. Merge this with the last card to get here when your side of this location is full.
Oh, like the one location, the
I borrowed from Yoshida base.
Yeah.
And then I also assume that like Doctor Strange, it couldn't target itself. Like it couldn't count as the last card there. So it's fine if you make it the last one there. But yeah, if you move something in, you fill up the location through movement, it's like, oh, hey, Vulture, and it just gloms onto that.
Oh, wow, that's very cool.
Okay. That's my Ben card.
I like it. I would play me.
I would play it too. I love having little cards and then clearing them up.
Yeah. Okay. I'm assigning next week's homework. This one is not from a listener. This is a Lauren invention. I want you to bring one quality of life change you would like to see in Snap.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Could be a little thing, but just something you'd love to see in the patch notes. You know?
Okay. Yes, I like it. Good call.
All right. In fact, it probably should be a little thing, but there's I think there's some quality of life updates that can have a big impact anyway.
Undoubtedly.
Okay. I don't know what my answer is yet. That just seemed like something that I certainly would have answers to. If you liked what you heard, interact. Like, subscribe, follow. Do one of the interactions you haven't done before. Review us on iTunes. I don't know. Everything you could possibly want to know is available in the show notes or the video description. I promised last week that I would plug this 2 weeks in a row, so I'm going to bring up The Snapprentice Season 2. It is a very cool reality show. 14 content creators are put onto 2 teams and given all kinds of challenges. I won the first season, and I have worked with Devilish, who runs the show, to set up the entire challenge list for the second season. And mostly because I wanted to add rules that wouldn't make it too easy to break the game. Because while 2.1 billion power of cards is very cool, it's less exciting when both teams are consistently hitting 2.1 billion power, which is the highest power a card can be, by the way.
Thank you for this trivia.
Yes, it airs on... Yeah, it's because it's the length of a 32-bit integer that can be negative. It's a computer programming limitation. Okay, it airs on Devilish's Twitch. That's at devilish_play. On Friday, January 17th at 6 p.m. Eastern or 11 p.m. GMT. Figure out where it is from where you are from there. But I will be there in the chat. I recorded a little video that's going to be part of the opening promo. I just think it's an extremely cool thing that happens in the world of Snap. Devilish puts an ungodly amount of time into it, and you get to see some really creative Marvel Snap stuff, which I would think that anybody who's listening to this appreciates creative Marvel Snap stuff. Okay. We're part of the Snap Judgments Network, where you can listen to other great shows like Snap Judgments, our grand pod, where Pulse Glazer and Roy on Saturdays talk to various people in the Snap community. And, it's a great podcast, and we are grateful for our connection to it.
I would say that Glazer is sort of the Prince Elfangor of Marvel Snap podcasters. Sorry, this is part of the episode where I squeeze in an Animorphs reference.
Where you force out an Animorphs reference. Okay, well, find out what Animorphs reference Ben's going to drop next week. Same Snap time, same Snap channel!
We did it! Good times!
We sure did.
Yeah.
I'm surprised, actually, how fast that was for a patch and OTA.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We kept it moving. Kept it moving and grooving.
Good job.
I hid what a mess I was by wearing the sweater.
I decided I didn't want to have wet hair today. Usually I showered right before the podcast. No, record it grimy. No one will ever know.
Grimy's the way to go. You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah, mine are always the secret sweatpants.
The off-air sweatpants.
Even when it's the really nice shirts, yeah.
I like that combo. I'm wearing Christmas slippers. Quite literally.
Those are high quality. I'm jealous.
Yep. I have never been a slipper wearer before, but I got them
How'd
from
your feet stay warm?
Yeah, I have socks. But I got them from my fiance's grandmother for Christmas, and I have really enjoyed having them.